Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Sue from Ravens Escape Crafts. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If not, welcome back. We talk about yarn crafts and life and books and all sorts of other stuff here. So I hope let's get to it. So first thing, I always show you what I made. Last time, I apologize. I was not in the best space. I had a rough week. I just did. But I am feeling a lot better today. Uh, my mood has gotten exponentially better over the last 2 days, so that's great. And today, especially, I'm in a much better mood. I'm still tired and still achy from stuff I've been going through, but um, that's not going to change, so we might as well keep it, you know. And of course, now we've gone from sweaters and sweatshirts and snuggle blankets to t-shirts because I'm hot, or tank tops because I'm dying hot because it's 60 degrees here. Did you love perimenopause? Hmm? So, apologize about the cat freaking out. So, what did I finish? Not a whole lot this week. Not a whole lot. However, I did finish this gorgeous shawl that I started to show you guys the other day. It is, oh, I'm holding it wrong. This way. I don't know if the light shows it right. Let me see here. See if I can get it better. There you go. That looks better. Oh, now it's washing it out again. I can get a. There's the colors. It's washing it out, but it's not. It's like a lighter shawl. I don't say a light. It's like a smaller shawl. It's not a huge shawl, but I thought this would be perfect for like we're coming into spring. I thought it would be a perfect shawl for just for it would look nice with a dress. It would look nice with whatever kind of outfit, and it's not like super big and bulky. So yeah, it's like just a nice little shoulder shawl. So I thought this would be perfect. I finished it the other day. It was made with one of those new tiramisu carrot cakes I showed you. So that's the only thing I've. Oh no, oh wait, where did I put it? I almost finished something else, but I gotta finish it with you guys, and then I can show it to you. Um, so I need to finish this, but in the meantime, I wanted to show you. I did pick up a couple things at Michael's. I had a remember I did the Michael's haul. Well, then of course I got the $20 voucher. So of course we bought new yarn. Of course. So I did pick up two more of the sweetie cakes in the what's it called, fudge sundae that I was showing you. That I showed you that last video. So if you wanted to that last video, and then I did get two of the sweetie cakes in. See if it shows you good. Yeah, there we go. This is like browns, tans, grays, and like a white. This is called Ferris wheel. So I'm gonna probably make some of the hats with this too. That I'll show you the hats then. Um, well, I need to make them first. So, and then I picked two of the Karen big cakes up. These aren't new, but this one I got in the color Nightberry. And these are the big cakes. So these are a 4 worsted, but it's a thin 4. I will tell you that right now. Calls for a 5mm hook or 5mm knitting needle. But these are 603 yards. So this is Nightberry. It's like grays and browns and blues. And then I got another one in, what's this called? chocolate. So, chocolate. So, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to make with these yet, but something probably Renaissance-y fair. Because they're, I mean, look, I'll tell you right now, something to discuss real quick. I love colors. I love bright, beautiful rainbow colors, pastels. Of course, purple is my absolute favorite color. Um, you know, I love bright colors, but I do also, especially from like my Renaissance fair stuff that I've been gravitating toward, have been using a lot more muted, like grays, tans, browns, neutrals, because they're like, and even like a lot of greens and stuff like that. Because, like, let's just face it, a lot of the guys and women too, but a lot of the guys don't want a pink hood or a pink hooded scarf, or so I've been using a lot more like muted colors, like that it's good for like night elf, all sorts of different rogue, you know and I mean, they're selling. I'll tell you, if you're into to making things for selling, like for cosplay, I mean, I sell a lot of the muted colors. I sell a lot of the bright colors too, but don't negate, like, don't think you have to only do like bright colors. I sell a lot of the stuff in like the neutral colors because, like I said, there's a lot of people that are looking for actual pieces to add to their either cosplay or their Renaissance fair outfits that they want. And especially like something like in a brown, a gray, a neutral color, creams, they go with anything. So you can add them to just about any outfit, and it's and even for girls, like the neutral colored hoods and stuff like that. Again, if you have like a cream colored hood, you can match that with any colored outfit. So, that could go with many different outfits. So, I just don't negate making neutrals, because they do have a good place in the community. But of course, make all the colors too, because colors are amazing and we all love colors. So, but yeah, like, again, like, for, like, because I realized, a lot of things, a lot of people make for women. For there's a men's market that's underutilized when it comes to things like crochet. I mean, like, yes, a lot of us make like men's hats, beanies, and stuff like that, scarves, but when it comes to more difficult, like, should I say things, or like, people struggle with making stuff for guys. So if you ever want me to like talk about more about it, I can. I don't want to bore you guys right now. So let me grab my embroidery needle so I can finish up this project that I started last night, and I figured I'd finish it today and then show it to you, and then we can work on a little something else. So while I'm doing that, so I don't have any new books. I have, let me tell you something. Dungeon Crawler Carl has me on a book, a reading funk. I started a new book and I just cannot, I haven't been getting into it. I will, don't get me wrong, because I do not have the next Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm trying to slow down on Dungeon Crawler Carl because I know the next book doesn't come out till May, and so if I like plow through them all right now, I'm going to be like, oh. Then I'm going to be on a huge book hangover and not read anything. So I'm trying to slow down my Dungeon Crawler Carl buying. But yeah, so I haven't read anything, but that's okay. Sometimes you need a break from reading too. So this week was a break for a lot of stuff. I just had a week. I had a week. I got into last weekend I was stressed out about my doctor appointment Monday, and then of course the doctor appointment went horrendous, and then I just got into a funk and I couldn't get back out of it. Do you guys ever get like that? I just could not get my poop together this week, and then of course, it turns into that spiral of like, you're frustrated, you're upset, and then you're not getting anything done, and then you keep spiraling more because you're frustrated because now you're not getting stuff done. Yeah, it was a whole spiral. And I just had to take a little. I had to take a moment and reset. You know, I really did. It was not great. Um, and then like little stuff kept happening all week. Like and it was some of it was stuff that probably would have never bothered me other times, but then because I was already irritated and frustrated, then it was like every little thing was a meltdown. I'm admitting it. I'm admitting it. I know most people wouldn't admit this stuff, but oh my goodness, it was just a week. So, uh, what I was finishing up. So, somebody asked me to make a key. It's I don't want to say the wrong word. It's like a Muslim hat. They call them like a Muslim hat. So, and they wanted a warmer one. So, because a lot they're typically made out of cotton. So I was looking around. I found a pattern for what? Well, a YouTube tutorial. It's Atreyu is the name of the guy who does it. It's Atreyu's something. Atreyu's. I have to look. My phone's stuck under my iPad, or it's or my tablet. I don't have an iPad. So I made one. It's not in cotton. It's in acrylic. So I know that's not common, and it is a 4-weight. I know usually these are made with either a thread or maybe a 1-weight or a 2-weight. I'm going to make some for him in that as well, but I did not have. Well, like I said, he wanted a warmer one, and I don't have any of the lighter weight yarn. I don't use lighter weight yarn too often, so I don't have anything that's not like a bright, crazy color, which I know isn't appropriate for Muslim headwear. And none of it's colors for a guy in the first place. So, but I did find this guy does tutorials for it, so he wanted to know. So I made this hat, and it's a Muslim hat. I think it's a little long. I made this out of scrap yarn. I've never made one. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I did go exactly by his tutorial. Although in his tutorial, it's like, we'll make as many rows as you need. So, so of course I was doing this section, and he's like, make as many sections as you need. Well, I got to a certain point, and I'm like, it's still really short, but then once I added the brim, then it came a little too long. So I made this out of scrap yarn. It didn't take me that long last night, so I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to tell him, like, tell me what's wrong with it, because I can obviously alter it a lot. Even the guy doing the tutorial was very like, well, you could do this many rows, this many rows, this way. It wasn't like specific, you know what I mean? And then it was like, well, do as many rows as you need to get to this side, like to the top of your head, and then do as many rows down. So that was a good tutorial, don't get me wrong. He did a really good job. I just, it was very loosey-goosey, which I appreciate, because I'm a loosey-goosey crocheter. So I don't know, I hope I did it a little bit of justice. I'm going to give it to him and see what he says. And of course, like I said, if he wants the thinner ones, now that I know the pattern, I can easily do the thinner ones too. So yeah, so that's what I made. That's my other make for the day. Yeah, so I got this shawl, which I think, again, like I said, I think the shawl's really cute. Alright, so I apologize if you hear laughing. My husband and kids are filming their D&D live downstairs, which they do on Sundays. So if you hear some laughing and stuff in the background, it's them and their antics down in the basement. I think the cat's opened the door, so I'm also trying to talk a little quieter because they can hear me because I'm really loud. So the next order of business, I have to frog this. My husband graciously turned the rest of my skein into a ball, because it was terribly tangled, and he enjoys doing that. But so we will roll the rest of this. We're gonna frog the rest of this hat while we're on camera, and I'll give you guys something to it's me something to do while I talk to you guys. So, yeah, frogging, unfortunately, especially, I see it a lot on the Facebook groups and stuff. People get upset about having to rip stuff out, and not gonna lie, it's never fun, especially if you get too far, like I did. Um, I started this one. It's gonna be a long-tailed hat, but it's too long of a tail. Look at this thing. It didn't get wide fast enough. Let's put it that way. Is the problem, and this yarn frogs well, but I have a hair stuck in it, which is unfortunate. It's my hair, which means it's long and unruly. Um, it happens from time to time. May have to get a scissor out. So, yeah, it's really stuck. It's really stuck. But oh, there we got it. Okay. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're working on stuff, it does not work out the way you plan, and it's never fun to have to frog an entire project, but it's part of crocheting. Um, you know, I screwed it up. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Let's put it that way. Everybody makes mistakes in everything. We all do, and you know, and with crochet and stuff like that, it happens. You know what I mean? You have to, especially like I design my own stuff, so this is not from a pattern. And it's easy enough to make a mistake while you're doing a pattern too. You know, you'll be crocheting along, and you look back and go, oh, I missed stitches there. You know, but this is not that. This is simply just that I was designing my own pattern. I thought it was working out, and then partway through, I was like, ooh, I think this is getting to be a little, it's not getting big fast enough. And then I was like, maybe it is. Trust the process. Because I do have to, there's a lot of times that I start doubting my designs partway through, and if I just power through, they work out. That happens to me a lot too. So I was in that thought pattern, like, let's just power through. It's going to be fine. Like, I'm judging how much yarn I have left. I'm judging, you know, what, and then I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, this isn't anywhere near where it needs to be. And it's really long. I really screwed this up. So, yeah. So here we are. We're going to frog and restart. As unfun as that is, and as sometimes frustrating as that is, because you feel like you've worked for days and days and days on something and it didn't work out. And of course, I spent a lot of days working on this because so the way my mind works, I know this is a scary part, so if you need to fast forward over it, I'm gonna give you a little glimpse into my brain. That's very scary. Speaking of which, my husband's been playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I don't know if any of you are gamers or like to play games or are scary fans. I am. I've been. Let me put it this way. I've been watching people play Resident Evil for a good many years. I did play Resident Evil 1 for a little bit. I suck at those games. I am good at the puzzles. I am good at watching somebody play and finding all the little hidden things. I am good at helping figure out puzzles. I'm great at that. I'm your best friend. I will sit here and watch you play it and say, "Oh wait, right there. Oh wait, what's that? Oh wait, did you try this?" And I'm not annoying about it either. I'm not annoying. I'm helpful. I'm helpful. You know, like when my husband's playing, if he's figuring stuff out on his own, I'm not like, "Oh wait," but if he runs past something, I'm like, wait, go back. You know, or if he starts to struggle, I'm on it. So I'm not one of those annoying people who's like sitting there constantly telling him, you know, like, "Oh, hey, you missed that. Oh, what about this?" You know, No, I'm not that person either because I hate when people do that to me. Oh my god. You're like, I know, I'm not stupid. So no, I am not a backseat gamer, but like I said, if he runs right past something, I'll be like, wait, go back, go back, go back. Or or if, like I said, he'll be sitting here like, I don't know where that is. He's not like that, but he'll be like, I don't, what am I supposed to do now? And I'm like, okay, hold on, let me see, well, did you try this? Did you try this? Did you try this? So, yeah, so I do like doing that. And then, but I suck at those games. I suck so bad. I cannot shoot a pew pew in those games to save my life. Quite literally. I just, I see your DEAD over and over and over and over and over again. Um, yeah. I'm not sneaky. I'm not sneaky in real life. I'm not sneaky in games. I can't aim and function and shoot a pew pew and whatever else. I cannot. It's bad. But I like to watch, so I've been enjoying that, and I love me some horror. So love me a love me a murderous monster. You know what I'm saying? And of course, who doesn't like Leon? If you know, you know. So yeah, I think I've watched almost every. Don't. I did not see whatever that one was called, The Village. I haven't watched that one, but I think I've seen every other Resident Evil game that's out there. So I have watched it being played, and I've only ever played the first one, which the first one at least was a lot of puzzles and a little bit of fighting. So, but then two was like a lot of fighting, and I was like, oh no. So yeah, so I didn't do that. Oh my goodness, I did a lot of work on this thing. So yeah, how you guys been doing? Anything new with you guys? What are you guys doing this weekend? It's nice out here in Pennsylvania. I don't know where you're at. Sun was out. Sun kind of went away, but it was out really bright before. Not too much else new to tell you about. Just, like I said, my week was kind of just trying to get through everything. Having a rough, having a few roughies. You know, the dust off this ball is making my throat. My throat was dry this morning when I woke up, and then the little fluffs that come off when you wind yarn is irritating my throat because it's sensitive. Oh wait, I was in the middle of a story. What was I telling you about before I got on my Resident Evil tangent? I was like, oh, I'm gonna circle back, and I didn't. Oh my god, it's so bad. My brain. Ay. What was I telling you about? I was talking about something. I'm like, oh wait, Resident Evil, and then I'll get back to you. Was I talking about yarn? Start now. I think I finished talking about frogging projects and working on projects. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna. I said I was gonna give you a little thing into my brain. So, what was I gonna tell you about? Oh my god. You guys are sitting here having a scene. I'm having a senior moment. I'm only 48. I'm only 48. Why am I having this bad of a senior moment? I was gonna say because I know I was telling you about the hats. I know. Well, okay, whatever. So like when I design them and when I'm doing designing and stuff like that, I try to get myself to tell myself like, oh, just trust the process. It's gonna work out. It always works. It usually works out. Well, this one did not work out. Not at all. And I try to tell myself, like, it's gonna be fine, it'll work out, blah blah blah. Yeah. And this one did not. A lot of times they do. I'm surprised sometimes how well stuff works out that I'm designing the first time. Uh, this is not the norm. I don't frog this far in too many projects. I'm getting there. It's still long though. Still long. Alright, hold on. Oh, I don't know. I took a minute. I was thinking about trying to figure out what I was going to tell you. I don't remember. Um, so we'll go on a different subject for the moment. So, yeah, so I mean, well, and then, so I was saying, like, I had this week, and, like, so, of course, we know about my I told you guys about my doctor appointment not going well. And then, Thursday and Friday, my aide, again, I will not tell her personal information, but she's having a bit of a time, personally. So, she was telling me about a lot of stuff going on. And again, it's her business. I would never, ever put that on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube, or Facebook, or anywhere. What she says to me is in confidence. But let's just say she's having, in her personal life, is a little, and her work life, um, is having some, let's say, bumps in the road. She's on a path. Let's put it that way. I'm going to say that. She's on a path, and of course, as we all know, when you step out on a path, you plan your path well, and you figure everything out, and that's not ever how it doesn't. There's always, um, I've been talking to her about those things as of recent. So she's been having, so I spent a lot of time listening to a lot of things, which is fine. I'm a good listener. Uh, and, but, like, till the end of the day, I'm a little, like, drained, you know what I mean? I'm an empathetic person, and I take it very seriously listening to people when they choose to share something with me. So till we're done talking about something, or I'm done listening to something, I feel a little bit empathetically drained. Not physically drained, but mentally, And I just need a reset. It's not a bad thing. It's just like I need to take a moment and reset. And then, of course, that was Thursday. And then Friday, of course, she came in, and she had a lot of going on. And so we talked again almost the whole time she was here on Friday. So I said to my husband on Friday night, I said, okay, I'm like, this weekend I need, like, some peace, because I just need a mental reset a little bit. I spent the beginning of the week being upset and frustrated and upset and in pain, like I always am, and that made it, just reminded me of everything, and my mental health was not the best. And then, I spent 2 days trying to help, just basically let her talk things through, um, which, again, like, I love doing, but it is a little bit mentally draining and emotionally draining on me. So I'm like, oh, I just need a peaceful weekend. You can play your Resident Evil. That's fine. I just want to sit here, try to get some Zen time, and, whatever. Play with my yard. He's like, oh, don't worry. The last thing I want to do this weekend is dump anything on you. Okay, When I tell you we were up until 2:30 in the morning, Friday or Saturday morning, from Friday night into Saturday morning, because, and I'm not gonna say what is going on, but there's some stuff going on in his work, some changes, let's just say, um, some of which just are not public at this point, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble, um, and which provides a possibility of an opportunity for improving some things. So he is hoping to capitalize on this opportunity to improve some stuff that's going, with the changes going on, to improve some things for everybody in his work, with some ideas of things. And you know how, like, people get into a rut and it's hard to get people to want to change, and that's where they've been. You know what I mean? Things have become problematic, but it's been easier just to, like, let things ride, which is where they've been for a while now. So now that there are changes happening, there's the possibility of people being more not perceptive. I hate when you can't think of the right word, but like people more willing to listen to ideas, But of course, it's business, so you have to. I don't have to, but if you want to make your ideas, what's the right word? If you want people to listen to your ideas and take them seriously, it is obviously advantageous to be able to show the profitability for the company that these changes would make. As a person who worked in accounting for many, many years, I have a certain set of skills, let's just say. So the things that my husband's proposing is receptive, not perceptive. Receptive to the people are more receptive to proposals if you can show the profitability in those changes. So my husband is trying to get people who've been with the company a long time to see that there's some things that maybe could be improved upon, and of course trying to get people stuck in their ways to change their ideas is difficult. And of course the number one thing they say is, well, is this going to really help? So we spent until 2:30 in the morning looking things up and playing with numbers to show how we could make how this would actually change the company in a positive way, profitability wise. Because we all know with any company out there, I'm sorry, if you can show that this is going to make them more money, they're a lot more receptive to those kinds of suggestions. So we did that. And then, of course, the plan was for him to go on Monday and talk to his boss about it and show him what we came up with. Well, of course, yesterday morning we got up and we were just sitting here chatting in the morning. The kids were still asleep. And it turned back to this was on his mind. And so then we ended up spending another 2 hours talking. Let me tell you, like, I was so drained yesterday, like, till the afternoon. I was like, seriously, just play Resident Evil and, like, let's just have a chill afternoon, please. But he did go to work then and talk to his boss about it, just telling him what, we came up with to show them, like, things. And I said, I don't want to, I won't get into specifics because it's not my business, it's not even my nosy business, So, but I will tell you if it does happen because if they do accept what he's proposing, because it'll be kind of exciting. But we'll see. I'm not putting my hopes up, but I did show them how they could make more money. Uh, and it's not possible without him and his changes. So we'll see. We'll see if they're smart or not. And I'm sorry, that's not right. It's not right. I don't pretend to know everything about business. I do know a lot about the car business, though. I do know how to, yeah. Well, again, we'll talk about that later. So, yeah, so I was working on that. so, so then, finally, yesterday afternoon, after we had lunch, everybody sort of settled down, and I was like, oh, thank God. I needed it. I needed that mental break, and I got it finally. This morning we were chatting, but not about that. So I mean that was okay. And like as I joked, like the kids came down at like 12 o'clock yesterday. I'm like, oh, are you here for your therapy session? They're like, what? I'm like, don't you need to talk about something about your life? Because apparently that's what I feel like a therapist. I mean, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed that people feel comfortable enough to talk to me about things. I'm blessed that I'm a good listener. I think too often I talk to people anymore and you can tell they're not really listening to what you're saying. Um, which is a problem. And I know they're not listening because I'll tell them about it again at a not too distant time and they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I get that a lot. Or like when you start to tell somebody about something, maybe you guys have experienced this too. Like, I feel like I need to rush when I start telling, except for on here with you guys. I feel like I need to rush right away when I start telling somebody a story because they're going to get tired of it. I'm going to know it. And that really upsets me. Like, I'm the kind of person, I don't share stuff real easily with people. I definitely have talking about therapy. You guys are my therapy. I I probably should see a therapist at some point in time. Lord knows I probably won't, but I should. You know, I know I've spent a lot of my life, and not with my husband, but my mother and my mother especially, but a lot of other people, that I've encountered in the workplace, people, friends, and stuff like that, where you start to talk to them about, like, they tell you like a long story, and you sit there and listen to it, or whatever, and then you want to tell them about something, and you can see them glazing off. They're not really listening anymore, and they're not. They don't want to hear your whole story, and so I tend, especially like in real life, to try to make my story shorter than what I'd like to, because I just assume everybody's gonna start. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Or I don't have my phone, so excuse, but uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. My phone's propping up the tablet, so this is my TV remote. But uh huh. Uh huh. I just, it doesn't make me mad when people do that. It upsets me. Like, it hurts my feelings. Especially if it's somebody who just told me a story, who like sat there for 45 minutes telling me a story, and I go to tell them a 5-minute story back, like about something, and I'm not the kind of person that has to, like, oh well, let me tell you. No, 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 no. I mean, I occasionally will tell you a relatable story, but I'm always not. I'm always careful to not one up you, you know, or not. intentionally one up you. You know, like those people. Oh well, I. No, that's not me. But I will try to, like, um, oh, like perfect example. May was telling me about how she was telling me an embarrassing story. Yeah, M was telling me an embarrassing story. May is her nickname anyway. She was telling me an embarrassing story, and I'm like, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened to me. She's like, you know, like something about being clumsy, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, don't feel bad because you know, and I tell like a story to make somebody feel better, but not to one up. You know what I mean? And like, what drives me absolutely nuts is when you sit and listen to somebody's like 40, 45 minute story and you're like, oh my god, you know what, the same thing happened to me, you know, or like you're like, oh my god, or you know, I was just reading about this, blah blah blah, and right away they're glazing off and you're like, that like hurts my feelings. Like, why am I not important to you? You know, why am I not important to you? uh it's telling. You know what I mean? Like, it's telling when you're giving all of it and you're not getting anything back, that somebody just either is that self-centered or just doesn't care about you that much. And it's hurtful, you know? It really hurts my feelings. I like to have a two-way conversation that both parties can, you know, um, have mutual respect and listen to each other. So, all right. So I got my whole hat unballed or balled up, and I think I'm gonna let you guys go because it's like 42 minutes, and I don't want to bore you too much anymore. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope, or whenever you watch this, I hope you have a great day. Um, Regardless, I hope you remember to set your clocks ahead because it is daylight savings time, and I just hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful time. Make yourself do something that makes you smile today, and know that I appreciate each and every one of you, and choose love every day. All right, bye guys.